Hello.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Thank you for calling. Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, I nearly fell asleep there. I've been sitting there waiting for half an hour for anybody to answer the phone.
I'm sorry about that. Can I have your EDF account number?
Yeah, it's 63, and it's your account number, not mine.
Can you kindly confirm your full name, your first line of address, and your postcode?
My name is...
Thank you. Can you kindly confirm your payment method?
I don't have a payment method.
Alright, so how do you pay your bills?
Well, I'm just ringing today to discuss about the fact that you've got a debt collector that's chasing after me, a company called Themis Recoveries, for a supposed outstanding bill. The reality is that I haven't ever agreed any terms or agreement with you at all. And yet you're sending me bills, you've got a debt collector chasing me, and I don't believe I've ever gone into contract with you. So I'd be interested to see where the contract was. Somebody passed you my name, and now you've decided to send me a bunch of bills, and you're now making threatening communication to me via a debt collector, and I never even ordered anything from you.
I believe you started staying in the property on the 4th.
That's none of your business. That's my business. The reality is that I didn't get in touch with you and contract with you in any way, shape or form. You've started sending me bills. Apparently I've got a contract with you, but I've not got any contract with you. So you've decided to send me bills because somebody passed my information to you, which is a breach of GDPR to start with. But apart from that, at no point have I gone into contract with you. At no point have I ever... I've actually been ringing you for weeks. No one ever answered the phone. This is the first time. I've actually just decided today to sit here until you answer the phone. It's taken 30 odd minutes for somebody to answer the phone. This is probably about the 10th phone call I've made over the last 2 weeks, trying to get somebody to even answer a phone. This Themis Recoveries have contacted me making threats as well. You ring their number and it goes through to an answer phone. I mean, it's a joke. And I have no contract with you. I've looked through all of my paperwork, everything. You've been sending me bills, but I don't have a contract.
So is the property rented or is it your property?
Again, none of your business.
Alright, so if I'm going to keep asking you questions and you're telling me it's none of my business, then I don't know how I'm going to be able to assist you without getting the answers I need.
Well, the answers are: are you able to supply me with the contract? You've been sending me bills and threatening letters, so you clearly think that you do have a contract. Can you supply me the copy of the contract?
In order for me to be able to get all of that, I need you to give me answers to the questions that I have.
Well, the answer to the question is you've decided to send me a bunch of communication, none of which is a correct invoice, is a bunch of statements, and you've now sent a debt collector after me, and at no point have I contracted with you. So you can ask me all the questions you want about my private business, but it's my private business. So can you please explain to me why I need to answer questions about where I live, how I live, whether I own the property, whether I'm renting the property with a company that I don't have any agreement with?
As I've mentioned, that in order for me to be able to give you all of those answers, I need you to give me answers to the questions that I have.
Why do you? Why do you need to know private information?
Further investigation.
Sorry, can I, just before we go any further, can I just take your name a second, since I've got that on file?
Candice.
Sorry, how do you spell that?
It's C for Charlie, A for Alpha, N for November, D for Delta, I for India, C for Charlie, E for Echo.
Sorry, C-A-N-D...
I-C-E.
I see, Candice, okay. I'm not trying to be awkward, Candice. I'm just trying to simply say that you're asking me a bunch of personal information about where I live. I don't need to disclose that information. You've sent me a bunch of stuff to my address with my name on it, which I've never contracted with your company. I'm asking for a copy of the contract if you think that we have a contract. And I'm asking you also to tell your debt collector to back off from chasing me and making threats, telling me I owe money. If I owe money for a service that I've never ordered, then show me where there's a contract.
All right, so I'll just try to explain a few things or how the supply works. All right.
Okay.
So, the last person who was in the property before you, right? Most probably, I'm not saying this is what they did, but most probably this is what they did. Hence, I was asking, is it a rented property or is it your own property? Because I wanted to give you a straight answer of what could have possibly happened. So normally what happens is, if you stay in a property and you move out, when you move out, or a landlord of the property can give us the details of the tenant that's going to go into the property or the next person that's going to take responsibility of the property. So we can open an account in their name, all right? And most of the time when that happens, we do tell them that we're only going to take the name and the surname, only. And whenever the tenant or the next occupier of the property gets time, they can call us in to give us more of their details. Right? For instance, their date of birth, email address, and their telephone number so we can communicate with them. All right. So, whatever usage that is used, whatever energy that is used in the property, the person that is in the property is liable for that usage. All right. So, hence, you've been receiving bills in the property in your name. And also, hence, you've been receiving our letters from our debt collectors. So what's going to happen next is, if ever the debt is not paid, for your own certain reasons, of course, which we do respect that, we will have to change the meter to a prepayment meter.
Okay, so...
Since EDF is the... Yes?
Okay, so you've just threatened to come into my property and interfere with stuff in the property. Do you own the meter?
We are the suppliers.
No, sorry. I'm asking a very specific question. Do you own the meter?
I can get the answer for you. Can you kindly please bear with me? I'll just have to place you on hold just to get from the metering department. I'll ask them to check if are we the ones that installed the meter.
Sure, if you can, please.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you very much for staying on the line. So I've just checked with the metering department. So the meter was installed by Eon, which was the first supplier of the property.
Okay, so it's not your meter.
No, we did not install the meter.
Okay, so what I would suggest doing in the future when you turn around and tell me you're going to come around here and replace the meter with a prepaid meter, be careful to make sure that they're your meters before you make a threat like that. Because what you just did is actually quite a serious offence, can actually lead to a very large fine if I actually was to take action against you for the threat you just made to me, because that's actually malicious communication. Now we've established that the meters aren't yours. Now I want to go back to the fact that you're saying there's a contract. You're saying I have a contract. If someone's passed my name to you and you've decided there's a contract, well, that's on you to decide that, but I haven't contracted with you. So please can you supply me a copy of the contract so that I can actually review what it is I'm supposed to have agreed to here? Because I don't know if you're familiar with a law called... an act of law called the Unsolicited Goods and Services Act. You've actually breached Section 2 of it, which is a demand and threats regarding payment, with what you just did when you turned around and told me if I don't pay it, this is what's going to happen next. So, again, I'm not trying to pick a fight here, but I don't really like being threatened by people, and you've threatened me verbally today. I've got written communication from your company, and I've got written communication from Thesis Recoveries, all making threats towards me for something that I don't believe I have a contract. And unless you're above the law, then I believe you require a contract to have anything that I'm supposed to owe. So if you believe you're the supplier of electric or gas to me, then I suggest you send me the copy of the contract. And in it, I would like you to confirm within that documentation that you are the actual supplier of what you claim to be supplying, because you've already turned around and told me you have control over the meter, but yet you've just admitted to me that it's not even your meter.
All right, so if I have verbally threatened you, I apologize about that. Wasn't my intention.
Okay.
Just laying out straight facts about how things work.
Your facts. Candice, be careful, because they're your facts. They're not facts. They're your facts.
It's EDF protocols.
I don't care about EDF protocol. I don't have a contract with them.
All right.
Their protocol should be to get their facts straight.
In terms of the meter being ours or not ours, yes, I do agree the meter was not installed by EDF. It was installed by Eon, which was the first supplier of the property. So basically what happens is, if you change supplier to the next supply, whoever that supplies the property at that current point is the one that is owning the meter.
Says who?
That's how it works.
No, it says who. You can't just say that's how it works. It says who. Who's they? That's just how it works. It doesn't work like that at all. Ultimately, you're a company. Yes, agreed. You're registered on Company's House, so you're different from any other company. So if Tesco's rings me up tomorrow and tells me that I need to pay them for my electric, do I pay them just because they decide so?
I believe if you've been using the energy, then...
Well, how do you know I've been using the energy? How do you know if I've been using the energy?
Most probably you were using the energy.
Most probably. Oh, okay. Most probably I've been using it. So we've now gone from I am using it to most probably I'm using it. Well, most probably you need a contract. Most probably you need a contract with me if I'm in contract with you that I owe you money. So could you provide me a copy of the contract that I've obviously signed, apparently, that says that I owe you this money that you're threatening me with in writing and verbally? If I don't pay, horrible things are going to happen to me.
Fortunately, at this point, I can't provide you with that.
Okay, well, if there's no contract, then where are we going with this? Because, ultimately, you're a company, no different from Tesco's, and I'm a consumer, and if I'm consuming from someone, I have to have an agreement with that person. So if you can't provide me a copy of the contract, you've just assumed that we have a contract, well, then that's your assumption. It isn't the facts. So if we're going to stick to the facts, you need to supply me a copy of the contract that I've agreed to so that I can review what it is I'm supposed to have agreed to.
All right. I hear you and I understand you.
And then,
so
and again, I'll just repeat, if you're going to supply me with any contract, I require you to supply me with evidence that you are supplying me with anything.
All right, in order for us to have evidence as to are we supplying you with anything, we'd require you to send us a picture of your meter so we can get your meter readings.
I don't need to supply you with anything. I don't have a contract with you. I have a right to my own privacy. I don't know if you understand the Human Rights Act, but Article 8 of the Human Rights Act says I'm entitled to my own privacy. For you to tell me that I need to share my private business with you because you've decided to send me threatening letters is a breach of the Human Rights Act. So, again, please stop asking for my personal information. It's none of your business. You've decided to post stuff to my property and tell me that I owe you money. Now, you keep telling me I have to share things with you that I don't have any obligation to share with you in any way, shape or form, and you're claiming I have a contract, which you can't supply me. So, where do we go from here?
All right. So, seemingly that I can't provide you with anything that you're requesting for, and also seemingly that you don't want to share any information with me in order for me to find a resolution to this. So
well, I've shared plenty of information.
Open a complaint for you.
There's nothing. I've shared plenty of information with you. I've shared the information that you're sending stuff to my property and making threats towards me. I've shared with you two acts of law that I believe you're in breach of in the process of how you've gone about your business. And I've asked you to supply me the contract, which you already stated you can't. And I've also asked you to supply me the proof that you think you supply the property that I've clearly stated that I'm at. So if you can't supply me those things, I suggest you stop sending me communication, turning around and telling me we have a contract.
All right. I understand there is information that you supplied me with, but the information you've supplied me with is not the information that I require in order for me to check if we supplied you with any energy. So what I can do on my end is I'll just have
the
to
meter, you've already admitted the meter in this property is not yours. I have no obligation to give you any details of what's on that meter.
But we are supplying the property.
You claim to be supplying the property. So, okay, you claim to be supplying the property. I need you to provide evidence of that.
But we wouldn't have the property details if we're not supplying the property.
Well, someone shared property details with you. I could give you another address tomorrow. Does it mean to say you're the supplier to it? Shall I give you a number of different addresses? Does that mean you're the supplier?
We are able to see on the national grid whether EDF is supplying the property.
The national grid. So what's the national grid got to do with it? If you're the supplier, what's the national grid got to do with it?
That's the system that we use to check what supplier or which supplier supplies.
But you're the supplier, according to you.
Yes, according to the national grid.
Well, where does the national grid come into it? Either you're the supplier or you're not the supplier.
We are supplying the property.
Okay, so you claim. So can you provide me evidence of that, please?
Please bear with me.